following is from the Agency for Instructional Technology, AIT.
Let's go imagining together to a place so old it's always new. We'll tell a tale, my friends, to you, and share a smile before we're through. And share a smile before we're through. Bum, 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 bum.
Have you ever been tricked? Well, magicians do it to us all the time. I mean, we'll see one thing and suddenly it's something else. It's always a lot of fun. But not all trickery is fun. Today's story is about a good and kindly ruler called a Caliph. And he had to use his powers of good to overcome the trickery of evil. It all began when a shrewd and clever beggar came to the Caliph with a chest of jewels. And inside the chest was a secret drawer. Caliph Shahsid was the ruler of Baghdad. He was loved by all, for he was honest and treated his people with fairness. One day a peddler came before him with pearls and golden rings, goblets and combs. Caliph Shahsid bought several items as gifts for his family, and as the peddler was preparing to leave, the Caliph noticed a small drawer in the side of the treasure chest, like a secret compartment. "What do you keep in that little side drawer?"
That just holds a few odd items. They're not worth very much."
"May I see them?" The peddler opened the drawer and took out a scroll and a small snuff box.
"I'm afraid it's only a little snuff box and a scroll with some foreign writing on it. It's worth almost nothing, so if you like, you may have it."
After the peddler had left, the Caliph called for his scholar, Selim, and asked him if he could read the writing. Selim studied the scroll closely.
It is in Latin, ancient Latin."
"Oh, what does it say?" Selim read the writing on the scroll aloud.
"Thou who mayst find this, be pleased and beware. Whoever shall sniff the powder in the snuff box and at the same time pronounce the word mutabor can transform himself into any creature he likes and will understand the languages of all animals. If he wishes to resume his human form, he has only to repeat the word mutabor. However, he must be careful when in the form of any beast or bird not to laugh, or the magic word will be forgotten and he will remain that animal forever."
The Caliph was excited. The idea of turning himself into an animal was all he could think about that night. He could hardly wait for morning when he could go to some private place and try out this magic. Early the next day, the Caliph saw a stork standing just beyond the lake. Oh, to be a stork! To be able to fly above Baghdad! Oh, how wonderful! He dressed quickly, took the snuff box, and went around to the far side of the lake. The Caliph went behind a tree and took out the snuff box and removed the lid. He held a pinch of the powder under his nose, sniffed quickly, and whispered the word mutabor. He felt it begin immediately. His neck began to grow. His legs grew also. His robes began a marvelous transformation to soft feathers and plumes. Out grew his nose and chin until he possessed quite a fine beak. He was a stork. As Caliph Stork stepped from behind the trees, he saw another stork which had been circling above come to land beside the first stork. The two storks exchanged greetings, and Caliph Stork was surprised at how clearly he understood their words.
"Good morning, Lady Longlegs. You are out early this morning." "Oh, yes, indeed, dear Chatterbill. I'm having breakfast. Would you care for a frog or two?" "Oh, no, thank you. I've eaten. I have just been flying over Baghdad, down by the marketplace. Oh, I enjoy watching humans. They are so unpredictable. In the marketplace, a woman was dancing a funny sort of dance that went like this.
And then he began imitating the dance, holding out his wings and swaying his long neck and lifting his feet one after the other in a ridiculous sort of manner. Caliph Stork, who had been watching and listening, was amused by the funny movements of the bird and laughed. The two storks by the lake looked at him. Well, they had never heard a human voice come from a stork, and they were frightened away. Then Caliph Stork realized what he had done. Oh, dear, I was not supposed to laugh. Oh, well, probably the message on the scroll was wrong. I mean, all I have to say is He had forgotten the word mutabor. Poor Caliph Stork. Now he would have to remain a stork forever. How could he live on lizards and toads? The mere thought of it made him feel sick. He tried and tried to remember the magic word. Try as he might, it would not come to him. He uttered a low and sorrowful moan. He tried walking and found that keeping his balance on his new legs was awkward. Slowly he walked to a plum tree, and there he pecked at some fruit until he was able to get 1 or 2 plums into his beak. Well, after he had eaten, Caliph Stork decided he might as well try to enjoy flying. After all, if he had to be a stork, he might as well make the best of it. Up into the air he leaped, and he opened his large, heavy wings, but too late, down he flopped, nearly breaking his long neck. He looked about to see if anyone had been watching his clumsy error. Well, once again he leaped, and this time higher, and he brought his wings down more quickly this time. As his wings pushed down, up he rose. He quickly raised his wings and pushed down again, and he rose higher. For long hours, Caliph Stork soared above Baghdad, the city he loved, the city where so many people depended on him. And he felt sad that his people would never know him again. I mean, how could a stork walk into the marketplace and announce that he is the Caliph? When night fell, Caliph Stork could feel the winds above Baghdad beginning to calm. It was harder to fly. He realized he had to come to land. Not only that, he had to find a safe place to sleep. With a great noisy flop, Caliph Stork managed to bring himself down onto a treetop. He lowered his head onto his breast and drifted into an uneasy sleep. As dawn brought a pink glow to the sky, Caliph Stork awoke. He noticed other storks, many storks circling above the city. Up he flew to join the other storks. He neared 2 of the storks who were talking as they made their wide circles, gliding above the city. Caliph Stork listened to their conversation.
Oh, there will be a great parade beginning at the mosque and going all the way to the river right through the marketplace. Oh, yes. The best place to see the parade will be from the palace roof. Such a pity about Caliph Shahsid to disappear so suddenly. Yes, and to think that in only one day Mirza would claim his throne.
Caliph Stork could not believe what he was hearing. His deadly enemy, Mirza, the magician, was stealing his throne and throwing a parade. Quickly, Caliph Stork flew off to the palace. He landed on the roof and waited. Before long, the parade entered the square in front of the palace, and there sat Mirza, the magician, in his sedan chair, carried by his big servants. Oh, how proud and vain he looked. Oh, the poor people of Baghdad. This man would treat them all like servants and slaves. Caliph Stork decided that it would only break his heart to stay here any longer. He wanted just to get away, far away, where he could forget Baghdad. Off he flew toward the mountains in the east. He flew on and on, his heart heavy, his wings beating a steady rhythm. After a long, long time, Caliph Stork arrived in the mountains of the east. He flew lower and lower until he spotted the remains of an old castle. He landed in the courtyard and looked around. I suppose this is as good a home as any, he thought. He walked about, peering into the empty rooms. Suddenly, he heard a sound. Someone was weeping. Yes, it was definitely someone crying softly in the room just ahead. He stepped forward and looked in. There he saw an owl crouched in the corner, a very dejected owl. He felt sorry for it and went over to see what he could do to make the owl feel better. When the owl looked up, it was startled. It spoke with a human voice. "Please, help me." "Well, I will if I possibly can. You speak with a human tongue. You are not a true owl." "No, I am Lusa. I am the daughter of the King of India. Because I would not marry Mirza, the magician, Mirza turned me into an owl. I have been here as his prisoner for almost a year. My wings are clipped." So it seems that Mirza has many great plans. Well, I am Caliph Shahsid of Baghdad, not a true stork. Somehow Mirza has tricked me into this body and has stolen my throne. He intends to rule Baghdad and have you there as his wife? Well, we must stop him. Well, he will be here tonight. He is coming one last time to try to make me marry him. If I refuse tonight, I will remain an owl forever and ever. I would not have to remain a stork if only I could remember a magic word which begins moo, moo. And for the life of me, I cannot remember the rest of the word. Well, perhaps I could get Mirza to say the word. I could find out what it is somehow. So the stork and the owl spent the late afternoon planning. As evening fell, they saw a figure on a horse approaching rapidly. It was the peddler. Caliph Stork recognized him right away. "Well, that's the peddler who gave me the magic powder and the scroll." "That dear stork is Mirza. He always comes dressed as a peddler. That way people don't suspect him. Now hide in the next room. I'll get the word from him." With a clatter, the magician, dressed as the peddler, came into the room. He strode proudly over to the owl. "Well, my dear Lusa, have you come to your senses? Are you ready to be queen of Baghdad? Or do you want to remain a stupid, blinking, worthless owl?" "Oh, Mirza, I have been so unhappy here. You give me so little hope for happiness." "I could give you everything, every happiness, if you were my wife. I am now ruler of Baghdad." But what has happened to Caliph Shahsid? Is he not the true ruler of Baghdad?" "Only if a stork can rule." "A stork?" "Yes, but for him there is no promise of returning to human form." "Why?" "Because he has forgotten the word. He laughed and forgot the word." "Oh, then it must be a long, complicated word." "No, it is a simple one." "Well, do I know it?" "No, it is ancient Latin. Besides, it would not help you. Only I can change you." "Well, then tell me the word. It must be very mysterious." "Well, the word is mutabor. Caliph Shahsid will never remember it." With a shout, Lusa said the word, "Mutabor!" In the next room, Caliph Shahsid heard it clearly. "Mutabor!" he shouted. In an instant, he was human again. He rushed into the chamber and placed the tip of his dagger to Mirza's throat. "Give me the word to change Lusa, or I shall cut off your head." The peddler dared not move. He scowled as if looks could kill, but he was powerless. Finally, he hissed, "Venus!" With that, the owl turned into the beautiful Lusa. Caliph Shahsid tied Mirza to his horse and led him to the city of Baghdad. This time the parade was quite different. The true Caliph led the evil magician through the city streets. Everyone was overjoyed to see their beloved Shahsid once more, and they hissed and then threw things at the magician. The magician was sealed in a tomb deep in the mountains. Caliph Shahsid married Lusa, and together they ruled Baghdad for many happy years.